What's up, creepers? Welcome to Phin and Bryn Spoops.
I'm Bryn.
And I'm Phin.
And today we are going to be reviewing the movie.
What's the movie? Insidious.
Every day, people. This is what I have to work with.
You're welcome. No, I'm working with you because this is my channel.
Directed by
James Wan.
What else has James Wan done, Phin?
The Conjuring. Saw. Yeah. So he's good director that we like.
Yes, we do like James Wan. It got 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, which is really good for a horror movie. This was made in 2010, so it's a 10-year-old movie. Sorry. I couldn't watch it when it came out because I had two little boys at the time, and it kind of freaked me out having two little boys in it, and I apparently have watched it since because last night was not my first viewing of it.
You just remembered, like, creepy.
But apparently it didn't impress me enough that I remembered until at least halfway through. Sorry, James Wan. I still love you. So, what do you rate it, Phin?
I give it 4 skulls.
I would give it 4 skulls, but I have to give it 3.5 skulls because I forgot about it. So, it loses half a skull for that.
Hold your skulls.
3.5 skulls. Sorry, 3.5 skulls. Okay. Patrick Wilson. Is that his name? I'm pretty sure. Patrick Wilson? That sounds right. Patrick Wilson was in this movie. He was also in The Conjuring. He played Ed Warren. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s where Ed Warren were the darlings of the National Enquirer, which my grandmother thought was the newspaper. Anyways, Ed and Lorraine Warren were in the newspaper a lot, so when James Wan decided he was going to make a movie series about the Warrens, I was very excited because when I was a kid, I totally hung on to every single word they said. Even though, you know, it was a little showy. So, yes. So Patrick Wilson's in this movie and he plays Ed Warren in the Conjuring movie. So I was very happy to see him because I think he's beautiful. Also starring in this movie is Rose Byrne. She plays his wife, Renee. And Dalton is played by Ty Simpkins, who is also in
Jurassic World
as Gray, the younger brother who's smarter than his older brother.
Gasp. When it comes to dinosaurs, though. Not everything.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
So,
Mr. DNA.
So when we kept, you know, this movie's 10 years old. If you haven't seen it, we saw it last night on AMC Plus. They have all of them, Insidious, Insidious 2, and then Insidious 3, and I believe there's another one. You can comment down below if there's another one. I believe there's one other one. You have something to say?
5, 4, 3.
So go check it out on AMC Plus first.
2, 1.
Okay, so when we meet the Lamberts, Renee and Josh, which my husband's name is Josh, so whenever I watch these horror movies and the husband's name is Josh, I get a little weirded out, especially with this one. They're moving into a new house. Finn loved this house. It was an arts and crafts style house. You were like, I love this house. I love this house. So when we meet the Lamberts, they are moving into a new house, and Finn loved this house. It was an arts and crafts style house. It was great. So much dark wood, though. It must have been a cameraman's nightmare. So it was a beautiful house, and he's a teacher, and I'm thinking, my goodness, they can afford that on a teacher's salary? Anyways, they have 3 children. They have Dalton, Foster, and Callie. Callie's a baby, so we get to hear a lot of Callie interaction with a baby monitor, which is kind of scary. Dalton is about 9. 9? Foster about 7?
Really? Because it seems like he's more of like 8. I don't know. Somewhere from like in that area.
Maybe 10.
Who knows?
Okay. Their oldest son, Dalton, he ventures up into the new attic while his mom is unpacking stuff. And she's already been up there once, and they've shown that the ladder isn't sturdy.
Yeah, because
she broke it. So he goes up there. Was he looking for something or just curious? Because the door opened on its own.
Yeah, so he's just curious.
So he went up there and he wanted to turn the light on, which was high up, so he had to climb the ladder, and he falls from the ladder and hits his head. And he seems like he's okay because he's screaming when the parents go up there, because I think he sees something.
He looks into the corner and
they're downstairs playing with the other 2 kids. And they hear him screaming. So they go running up there, and he's fine. He's got a big bump on his head, but he's fine. And then the next morning when they go into his room, they can't wake him up.
He doesn't wake up.
He just doesn't wake up. So then they take him to the hospital, and the next time we see them, they're in the hospital, and they're saying, oh, we don't know what's wrong with him. He's not in a coma. But it's already been 2 days, and the writer in me is appalled that he just skipped those 2 days of them taking Dalton to the hospital. I don't know if it ended up on the editing room floor, but I couldn't stand that time jump. It bothered me so much. And then after they talk to them in the hospital, it jumps what?
3 months.
3 months! 3
Well, yeah,
months.
that's when they bring Dalton back. So
I don't care. I need to see something. I can't stand that much of a time jump. It was dumb. So then they bring Dalton back home, and he's still not awake from his pseudo coma or whatever it is. It's not a coma. They don't know what it is.
Yeah,
he just won't wake up. And it shows the home nurse, and she's showing them how to put his feeding tube in, which I couldn't do. Oh my gosh, people. Oh, it was very upsetting. So his hospital bed and all of his hospital equipment is in his room, and I think that's the first time she hears something in Calis' room.
Well, no, she's downstairs playing the piano. No.
Okay.
Piano. And then on the baby monitor, like, there's weird, like, whispering.
Yeah.
Just screams into it.
And I guess he says, I want in?
No, I want him.
I want him? Couldn't understand what he was saying.
Well, it just yelled pretty loud after.
Like a man's voice.
And it was scary.
In her baby girl's room. So she goes tearing up there, and
baby's crying.
She doesn't see anything, but she's kind of freaked out. So I'm thinking about that. Oh, so she goes into the baby's room later. Oh, do you remember when Foster says he doesn't like it when Dalton walks around at night?
I don't think that's Foster. Wait, Dalton. I'm great at names. I don't think that's Dalton in the halls.
When his little brother says, can I switch rooms? And his mom says, why do you want to switch rooms? And he's like, because I don't like it when Dalton walks around at night. You mean your brother? That's in the coma. Because now I'm really super freaked out and we have to burn the whole house. So, gosh, they hear something on the baby monitor, I think, again, in the middle of the night. And she goes into the baby's room, and she sees somebody standing in the room, and she starts screaming and yelling. And then he goes running downstairs, because she says, oh, I saw somebody. And he goes running downstairs. I think there's a bat. Anyways, he checks the door, because, oh no, somebody was knocking on the door. Somebody was knocking on the door in the middle of the night, and he wakes up. And he goes downstairs to go check it, but while there's been knocking on the door, the baby's crying. So she goes into the baby's room, and there's somebody standing over the crib. And she starts screaming. She grabs the baby. He comes up, flips on the light. There's nobody in the room. And he goes running downstairs because the alarm goes off, or the house alarm goes off, because he had just set it when he went back upstairs.
And he locked the door,
too. And he goes tearing downstairs because now the alarm's going off.
The door's wide open.
The door's wide open.
Wide open.
That was really scary. Patrick Wilson does such a good job of, why is this happening to me type scary. I'm just a tired teacher and I don't want to deal with this right now. But they keep showing him at night. He's now starting to work later and later and later. He won't go home because his wife's acting like a crazy person. And his son's in a coma, so he's been grading papers from school. But if you look very closely on the chalkboard, you see Billy the Puppet from Saw and James Wan's name
on there.
And there's a couple of other crew members written on the board too. So James Wan, always look for his Easter eggs.
On the walls, you said usually.
Usually on the walls. Yeah. So she has having some issues, like being home alone a lot, and at one point she sees somebody walking on the balcony outside, and then all of a sudden he's in the room and he attacks her, right? The Native American dude. Ghost.
Native American dude, Mom.
The ghost.
Yeah, the big
guy.
The big guy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he touches her. He moves her physically, right? Like he physically moves her
and pushes her over the bed. And
she insists that there was somebody in the house, and he insists there wasn't. And they fight, and now she wants to move because that's what wives want to do. And I'm so surprised that we didn't hear the "we can't afford to move" speech, because we hear that a lot in horror movies. We've sunk every penny we have into this house.
And he's a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm like, they just moved to that new house.
And he, you know what? God bless him. He picks up everything and he moves because his wife's like, we need to get out of this house. It's haunted.
And I just realized the house thing that you're talking about, the blue one, that's their second house.
Sorry, we had to go fight. Okay, so. Anyways, you're too far back. That's why. See where the lip of my chair is?
Well, we were that far back before.
I can't go back that far. Okay, so
hi.
His mom keeps showing up at the other house. By the way, he doesn't take pictures. Like, she was shocked that they had one family picture. His mom was like shocked that his wife had got him to stand still for a picture, and she was like, he doesn't take pictures. And that's supposed to be like a big clue, I guess. So do you want to go on with the next house? I'm having trouble remembering a lot, and I didn't take a lot of notes on the second house.
The second house went straight basically to the newer part, because wasn't there like one more haunting?
The handprint at that house?
The handprint
No, that was
the first house.
The first house, yeah.
What? Because something like...
Oh, she sees the little boy running around.
Oh, yeah. She's taking out the trash, and there's this little boy running around.
In her house.
And then she calls over a priest, and then...
It's like a little ghost boy running around in her house. It's scary. I don't like ghost children. But they're better than ghost old ladies, which apparently her husband has on him. There's a ghost old lady attached to him. So anyways, they call a priest, and her husband's very annoyed. I feel like he has put up with a lot, and by the time he gets there and there's a priest there, he's like, really, this needs to stop. But his mom's like, I know somebody, and she brings over, these two dudes come over, and one of them is Leigh Whannell, who also wrote Insidious. Leigh Whannell also directed and wrote Invisible Man, and he also was in Saw.
He was Adam.
He wrote Saw.
Adam.
With James Wan. And I love Leigh Whannell. I have this super weird horror movie crush on Leigh Whannell. I think he's adorable. He's a weirdo. I don't know. I love him. And he shows up with his buddy who Leigh Whannell plays Specs, and I can't remember his friend's name, but they are paranormal investigators. And the other dude with the beard, he's also on this show called, I don't remember.
Well, I don't know.
Shut Eye.
I'm like, I don't know.
Liza Romany and Shut Eye. Anyways, they show up and they start using technical equipment on the house
More.
He's got this one thing that looks like what are those called? Those little things that go around. Oh my God! What are
They
they
can
called?
customize. They're like, you put them up to your face. They're usually red, and you just do that, and it like switches pictures.
He's got one of those. It's just basically a toy, but he's doing that, and he sees these two
We got it. It has different colors, like
different
red,
filters.
blue. Yeah. And then he's going through the filters, and on blue filter, he sees two girls, and it's creepy. And he's like,
They're
"Frick."
really scary looking. They're really scary looking ghosts in the house, and he freaks out. So they're like, "We need to call Elise. We need to call Elise right now." And Elise comes over, and she's this older lady, and she knows his mom, and she's super nice. She's like, when she sees Josh, the dad, she says, "Oh, I haven't seen you in so long." So then this movie quickly spirals into Poltergeist territory. You've got the psychic, her two paranormal investigators. We got ghosts. We got her saying that Dalton is trapped in this spirit world dimension, and that her husband's got to get him out. And it really just starts fallen into Poltergeist territory, so much so that even one of the paranormal investigators, Specs, he gets beat up by a ghost at one point, and he has to put meat on his head, and I kept thinking of the maggoty meat in Poltergeist.
And I'm just like, beef.
And wasn't there a big tree outside of Dalton's room in the first house?
Yeah.
So yeah, that too. They started to not hide it at all. After a while, they were just like, you know what? We're just gonna own it. This is Poltergeist.
But you just went straight. Like, his dad's got to get him out. We didn't explain the whole story.
She tells him that when he was little, he astral projects, and
That's
ghost,
why Dalton can.
Yeah, Dalton does it also, and
That's how he got lost.
He got lost, yeah, because he used to be able to see himself sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Josh used to do the same thing when he was little, and he got lost also. But a ghost had attached itself to Josh, so whenever his mom took a picture, she would see this old lady behind him, and it seemed like it took her a few years to catch on to that. And I was like, Lord.
It wasn't a few years. It was just a few pictures, because he looked the same age in all the pictures.
Okay, but I would have noticed so quick. But I guess I'm like that.
Maybe it was the first picture that she didn't know, so I'd get that. But the second picture,
I know, they were so scary. And the ghost gets closer. It's getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer in all of the pictures until they decided to just adjust his
pictures.
Memory and stop taking pictures.
They just never showed him the pictures and never talked about it again and never took a picture again.
So
he
this
just
ghost
forgot
has just
about
been like hitchhiking the whole time.
This whole time. Following it.
So he's got to be hypnotized, and he's got to go into this ghost dimension, and he's got to go find his kid. Because there's this red-faced demon that's after his
Apparently
kid.
It's called the lipstick demon.
It's called the lipstick demon.
I started like you said the bloody handprint again. Apparently it's a lipstick handprint.
I'm not kidding on this. It's actually called the lipstick demon.
It's like red face. It's supposed to be lipstick, I guess.
Phin does not like it. So they gotta save him from the red-faced demon. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. They gotta save Dalton from the red-faced demon, and
they have to get him out of the house and then into darkness, and then he has to come back to the house, and there's a bunch of scary ghosts.
It's called The Further, where he goes. The movie was actually supposed to be called The Further, and I'm so glad it wasn't, because that sounds stupid. So his dad goes into this astral projection mode. They hypnotize him, and he goes looking for his kid, and he battles with the demon, and he comes back with his kid. And
he's in the house, and then his kid goes back to his body and wakes up. But but then the dad goes to a mirror and starts yelling at the old ghost woman thing. Is like, get away from me and stuff a bunch of times, and then he wakes up. Or does he? And then they're like thinking, they're so happy, and then the weird what's her Elise. Then he's talking to Elise, and his hand's there because she's giving him he's giving back the pictures. Yeah, he's giving back the pictures.
And he's got old.
No, not yet. You don't know yet.
Yeah, she sees something.
But she sees something, and then at that moment I knew, I'm like, he never came back. And then she takes a picture, and he goes all like, "Why would you do that to me? You know I don't like taking pictures." And then like chokes her to death, strangles.
How did we find out he had the old lady ghost hand then? I forgot.
Oh yeah, wait.
Because we saw that.
It shows what she saw after she took the picture and she's getting strangled.
Yeah,
it
he's
shows
got like this really old lady ghost hand.
And then when his wife finds the body, Renee finds
Elise's body.
She looks at the camera at the ghost.
And
then he comes up behind her, and it's just like, hi.
And that's the end. We will watch Insidious too and get back to you on that because I actually haven't seen Insidious.
But tomorrow we have a special.
Yeah, you guys have a special. I will not be here tomorrow.
A father special.
I'll be here in spirit and behind the scenes. But Phineas is a climber, and so is his dad. Oh, sorry.
It's gonna do that, and then you just.
And they're gonna be watching The Descent to tell you what they think of the climbing in The Descent.
And also the movie for me.
And how scary it is. Because it's very scary. So check back. Also tomorrow you will actually see me because when they are done, I will pop in and we are going to discuss the very first episode of the new Haunting of Bly Manor because we love Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, and we can't wait to watch that.
So we are we've been looking forward to Haunting of Bly Manor.
We'll get that in a second.
We will be doing Haunting of Bly Manor and then one episode after each one of the movies. And then we'll tell you, we won't give away spoilers on Bly Manor. We'll just tell you how our feeling is going, okay? So check in on that. Make sure you like and subscribe and catch us tomorrow.
See you next time.
Oh, and go vote. Bye.
Bye.